Hi, everyone, and welcome to weeks 9 and 10. Um, Hopefully, you got a little bit of break between week 7 and the beginning of week 9. So, let's go over some of the things that are due today. I decided to sit in a different place, and let's see, you might even see a cat today. All right, so let's look at learning resources. So, first of all, you want to make sure that you read this article. This article is the focus for the journal for this week. And then chapter 8, The Raven from Perry and Salzwitz, the Rothschild book, and then also the Van der Kolk book. And here it is a PowerPoint made by someone who is really quite good at biofeedback and developed this PowerPoint about breathing. So it's a good example of ways to breathe that can be very helpful, which is, of course, something important to do with clients when we are working with them, and that they become activated in their sympathetic nervous system when sometimes that sympathetic nervous response, that fight or flight response, overwhelms their ability to allow their parasympathetic nervous system, whose job it is to calm everything down, to actually do that. Or sometimes what happens is the parasympathetic nervous system goes offline, or is not sometimes even available because people may not really develop their parasympathetic nervous system. So the sympathetic response happens, and they've never practiced anything that would help to empower their parasympathetic nervous system to calm all that down. So they stay in a high state of alarm or worry or anxiety because of the sympathetic response. So on Sunday of week 9, you have a journal that's due, and this journal is specific to the Bryant Davis Ocampo article. So you're going to, again, answer 3 questions. How did this article highlight or change your view of yourself? Did you learn something about yourself or have an aha? How did the material, meaning the article, change your view of others? And then using examples of how you might put this learning into practice, how would you go about doing that? So make sure that, half to 3/4 of a page, half to 3/4 of a page, and 1 to 1.5 pages for this section. Okay. Here's the grading rubric. And next we have technique demonstrations, also in week 9. And your initial post. So if you are posting a technique demonstration, your post is due here by Thursday. So you'll just hit reply. Oh, here, Bella has one. And look, Tiffany replied. Okay? So each one of you will reply. Now be careful because sometimes there might be a lot of replies and you might not see all the technique demonstrations. I didn't check, but in the announcements is a list of all of the people who will be posting their technique demonstration this week. Okay. And then here is the place. If you are presenting, you come here, and up here there will be, I'm not in the student view, so you can't see it, but there's a button here that you will press on and make sure that your technique demonstration, the written instructions, should also have your YouTube link on it. So you are uploading it here so that I can grade it, and in the discussion so everybody can respond to it. And then finally in week 10, there is a discussion, and this discussion has to do with therapeutic approaches using chapter 8 in the Perry and Salzwitz book called The Raven. So you are talking about therapeutic interventions. These could be traditional therapies, non-traditional therapies. You have resources in the reading for both Rothschild and for van der Kolk. And so you're going to at least use their citations and references, and you also need to cite and reference Perry and Salzwitz too. So 3 parts to this discussion. One focuses on if you are using an intervention on a micro level, how do we help that individual cope with the impact of their trauma? How do you, on a group level, and in week 3, you focused on the meso level, thinking first about, so here's the micro impact. And if this is true in this person, what is the outcome in their exchange with others in a group? How can this person be in school? How can this person have friends? How can this person, and so on and so on, okay? And then in the very first of this 4-week discussion, you talked about macro. So go back to that and look at what you wrote there, and then come back and think about the Raven and talk about what kinds of macro issues there are. And then you'll also make a reply to one of your classmates. And that is it for this week. Okay, I will see you in the course. Thank you so much. Bye.